Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the reaction log. Whoa. We got a special spicy one here in classical guitar news. Truly special and spicy. And this is kind of like if classical guitar had news associated with it, this would be one of the biggest stories of the year right here, I'd say. This is Tosin Abasi's new guitar that he made with Cordoba, one of the finest guitar companies. But this is kind of a big deal for us because it's very reminiscent of Tim Henson's pretty famous nylon string guitar that he made. I almost called it a classical guitar. It's not that. No classical music's played on any of these things, but you could, which is the important part. Because there's going to be a lot of kids out there that have their hearts in the right place and they want to play technical, cool music, but they still think that classical music is kind of boring and lame. They just don't get it yet. And they'll see these guys playing these nylon string guitars, and as long as they have one of these, even though it's going to sound bad because it's like, you know, not a real classical guitar, their teacher might be able to force them to learn a couple of Carcassier etudes alongside the other crap they want to learn. And then maybe one day they will wake up and realize that they want to be a classical guitarist, a lifelong one, and that is the start of that beautiful journey. By the way, what am I talking about and why am I here? I am a classical guitarist here on YouTube. And what does it mean to be a classical guitarist? It means this is like one of the most exciting things to talk about. This is the story of the year for classical guitar, I'd say. Hey, and just to give you some background, let's just look at Tim Henson's guitar. Look at that. For the low price of $750, honestly, not even that expensive for, I say that, like, I was gonna say for what you're getting, a really terrible sounding classical guitar, so maybe it is a little expensive. But it's kind of cool, it looks cool. This is a lot of people's first nylon string guitar, and you never know where that journey's gonna take them, and I just really appreciate that Tosin is now contributing to that same kind of journey. Hey, so according to me, Tim Henson and Tosin Abasi are now honorary classical guitarists for their nylon string advocacy. Thank you, sirs, for your service. Let's go ahead and check out Tosin's song, and this is actually kind of nice because it's his guitar being played his way, as intended, with the piece that he wrote for this guitar specifically. So we're really gonna see how this guitar shines and how it should be played, and isn't that just great? Hey, let's stop with the rambling and go ahead and jump into the music, shall we? Abasi! Huh, interesting. So first impressions, this piece, it's sort of like reminiscent of tremolo, I guess. Dude, what is happening there? What is he doing? Is this a mimed video? Oh no. I'm sure it is, but Tosin can actually play. Is he doing a tremolo with his pick and then like, I think that's what it is. Yeah. Do I hear strings in the background? Okay, so we're kind of in the realm of like a concerto here. Sounds like the newest Rodrigo concerto just came out. Oh yeah, by the way, I probably can't play more than like 5 or 6 seconds at a time because I will be avoiding copyright in this. Just go listen to it. It's like 1.5 minutes long. Okay, so we're noticing like what I would expect from something like this. It's a nylon string guitar with plastic strings, of course, that's the nylon part, and it's being played with a plastic pick, and that plasticky signal is also being fed through a piezo, one of the worst sounding pickups that you could ever imagine for a guitar. So like the overall tone, it sounds cool, it sounds modern and hip and like prog metal and all that. As far as classical guitar tone goes though, this guitar sounds quite bad, which we weren't expecting it not to. It's not gonna sound like an acoustic, well-made, like luthier-made guitar. But I guess that's something that I just have to point out because of course it is, right? Also, we got a 7-string guitar here. That's pretty cool, and you might think that this is kind of sacrilege for a 7-string guitar. These are super common for Russian guitarists to play 7-string guitars. And in fact, the music that I have for BWV 997 that I've been playing a lot in the practice logs, that's written for a 7-string guitar, but whenever there's a low C or a low D, I just move it up an octave. So that'd be cool. I don't know, I'd like to hear that fugue on 7 strings to really hear it how it's supposed to be played. There's a lot of instances where I'm playing a C major chord where it's like C and then the high E string, and then once a low C, a major third below the lowest note on a standard guitar. So not sacrilege, just Russian, which, you know, interpret that how you will. Also, fret markers on your classical guitar, super bizarre. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Also, 24 frets on your classical guitar. Insane. Taking the power away from piano. Awesome. The question is now, does a solid body nylon string piezo guitar sound better than the average piano? I'd still argue yes. That's just me though. Also, Tosin. Gotta give you like I'm gonna give a 6 out of 10 on this tie job. Strings 1, 2, and 3, they look a little sloppy. I don't know. You got the standard Guitar Center tie job there. You have to look up a video to learn how to do it like that. But 6 out of 10. You could do better. You gotta work on it a bit. You know, I think the low end on this guitar actually sounds pretty good, but right when you start hearing the plasticky nylon, it's just so obvious that the tone is like piezo, and I don't really like it that much. Again, I appreciate Tim Henson's guitar and all that. I don't know how he played it for so long, you know? Like, it just doesn't sound good. And I guess it's just surprising to me, because these prog metal guys, their tone is so important. Like, they have all of these super fancy, high-tech plugins, like bias, FX, and all that. And they put so much care into their electric guitar tone, and it really is perfected by them. Like, their tone is crazy. Like, if you listen to Animals as Leaders with Tosin playing an electric guitar, like, whatever year that song dropped in, it was like, that was the best guitar tone you could get in 2023, or whatever it was. But I feel like it just gets ignored with the nylon string. And it makes me wonder, like, why do you guys even want to play it? Like, again, I appreciate it, but why do you want to play it? Does it sound good to you, like, compared to your electric guitar tone? Because I don't think it does. But I don't know, neither here or there. Sorry, again, I appreciate it. I do. I don't mean to be a negative Nancy over here. But I mean, electric nylons just don't sound that great. Whoa! Alright, so we have that piece. It was kind of like an etude in like legato tapping or something like that. Tosin, maybe you should publish these as etudes. That's a good way to cement yourself into the classical community and be studied by like 2 people in 100 years in some random university. In 100 years, someone will write their thesis on you, and they'll get filed into a library and read by no one. Whoa! All right. Let's lighten it up a little bit, Cameron. Oh, let's make it blue. How about that? And you might be wondering, Cameron, you've said a lot of negative things about these kind of guitars. Are you not trying to make friends over here? No, I'm not trying to make friends. Again, I do appreciate making the nylon string a little more accessible, because we're kind of branching out to all the prog metal folk who might listen to Animals as Leaders and Tosin, and we're providing them a nylon string that they can understand and recognize. And I think that that's important to try to eventually indoctrinate them into just playing a regular classical guitar and classical music. So I'm all for it. It's a little strange, but I see the vision and I appreciate it. But the only way this is going to be worth it is if this guitar is reasonably priced. Because if it's like a $3,000 guitar, ain't no beginner gonna be buying that. Thank God Tim Henson has his guitar, but what if you want to play Russian transcriptions of your fugue and you want the Tosin Abasi 7-string guitar instead? Well, let's take a look at abasiconcepts.com and see if we can get ourselves a guitar and how much it's going to cost. Click the link from the YouTube description. There we go. Okay, so let's just appreciate this guitar we got here. Something to keep in mind when you buy this thing, you're going to have to buy a 3D printed, strange, geometric alien guitar stand to fit the guitar's unique body shape. That's another like $40 on top of that. We got ourselves a multi-scale, 24-fret, 7-string nylon guitar. Anyone buying this, you're going to have to look up a video on how to actually tie these knots. I promise you, it's not as hard as it seems, though it is a little hard, I will admit. Made by Cordoba, which is so funny. Let's pre-order this guitar. Alright, let's see what we got here. Cordova Abasi Stage 7. It's a $1,500 guitar, which is a lot of money. Like, it's not a crazy amount. I think Tosin's other guitars, like, you can find them for like $3,000 or $5,000 or whatever. But man, just for a nylon string guitar that's gonna sound like any other nylon string guitar. And also, like, I have to make a comment on this. The multi-scale, which, like, one of the main benefits of a multi-scale is that the lowest, fattest string you have is slightly longer. It just makes it more resonant. That's why, like if you look at a double bass, for example, they have the lowest notes, and that's why it's the biggest. Because you could string, like, the low G string on a violin an octave lower, and it would sound at that pitch, but it'd be really quiet and it'd be really floppy. So when you have these multi-scale guitars, it makes that low string longer, as if it's a bigger instrument for the lower notes, and it makes it more resonant and powerful and stuff. And it probably helps like tuning a little bit. I don't know about all that, but that's the main benefit as far as I know. What does it really matter though when you're sending it all through a piezo anyways? Like there's nothing you can do to make that sound good. It's gonna sound bad. So I don't know what the point of that is, I guess. So $1,500, what does that compare to? Probably like a Cordoba C10, which, oh, there we go. Boom, Cordoba C10, $1,500. I've played a Cordoba C10 recently at a music shop that I live next to. It is an okay guitar. I can't recommend it. In fact, I can't recommend the C12 either. I don't know. Like, people ask me all the time, how do you find a beginner classical guitar? Honestly, I would just go to a music store and find the cheap Yamaha nylon strings and then pick one that feels the best to you. And then just practice on that for a while and then just try out fancier guitars, and once you notice the difference between them, that's when it's like time to buy it. Like if you're looking for like a first nylon string guitar and you buy this off of Sweetwater for $1,500, I don't know about that, man. I would just get the Yamaha. The $300 Yamaha, especially if you don't play classical, that's going to be fine. That's how I started. And then from there, I bought the Cordoba C12. And it was okay, and then I got some like actual luthier-made guitars, and those are amazing now. I guess my point is, it's a little pricey, but you know, it's also a specialty 7-string guitar with your favorite guitarist Abasi's name on it, also made by Cordoba. You get the little Cordoba crown. So the Abasi Stage 7 is a purpose-built nylon string. Hey, we built that thing on purpose too. You think it's an accident based on how the body looks. We did that on purpose though. Nylon string electric guitar engineered for modern electric guitar players seeking authentic nylon tone without the traditional limitations of classical instruments. Whatever, bro. Hey, if you want the limitations of modern electric instruments instead of being free with a traditional classical instrument, be my guest. Spend $1,500 on a piezo guitar. It represents a new class of nylon string instrument created specifically for contemporary performance. Hey, and that new class it represents, it might be a new low. We're not specifying here. It's up to interpretation. The Abasi Stage 7 was conceived from the outset for electrified environments, extended range clarity, and a seamless transition from electric guitar technique. Yes, the superior technique. Thin, extensively chambered mahogany body. Wood doesn't matter. You're not hearing any of that anyways. With custom internal bracing, delivers organic nylon response while minimizing feedback at higher volumes. Yep, because you just run it through a piezo. You can put that thing as loud as you want. It's never going to feedback. You get full 24 fret access and a 7-string multi-scale design to play your Russian transcriptions. You got electronics. Hopefully that's what you're paying for mostly. You got a custom stage pickup system co-developed with Fishman, combining an undersaddle transducer with internal body sensors for natural balance amplified tone without harsh piezo artifacts. Man, you guys work so hard just to try to make it sound like you're not using a piezo. It doesn't work. Let's look at the different models we have here. So first one we have is Zira Coat. That's the one we've been seeing. And then next is Essia. Oh my god, I don't know. Yeah, those are pretty cool. It's nice looking wood. That's nice. All right. I do think the headstock is very funny on this guitar, because that is just a classical headstock right there. And maybe something else about the headstock. Man, I'm really not a fan of having stuff on the headstock. It is a little unfortunate. Already Cordoba does too much with what they have there, and now you're just like, we know whose guitar it is when we see the body. Like, that's a Tosin guitar. I don't know, is there anywhere else you can put your name? It's fine. It's fine. Hey, while you're at it, you can pick up an Abasi short sleeve t-shirt. Maybe I should make some Fernandez t-shirts. Alright, well, I think we pretty much got it covered here. So, in conclusion, this is a new nylon string guitar made by one of our beloved prog metal guitarists. Ultimately, it's the same old tale of another electric nylon string guitar being made by Cordoba, who already makes a ton of those, and all the other brands that make these kind of guitars. They all sound, say it with me, exactly the same. It's just repackaged. It looks a little different. It might feel a little different. They all sound the same, though. They sound kind of bad. It's a piezo pickup with nylon strings. It's not a good sound. And I don't think I'm the only one who thinks that, by the way. I think a lot of people would agree with that. But again, I think that this will probably contribute to more people owning a nylon string guitar, which is kind of cool. Maybe not as many people as I hoped, because it is a little pricey. I would say that if you're going to get something, just get the Tim Henson guitar, and that's going to be good enough. Because again, it's going to sound just like this one. but half the price. You don't get that 7th string though, and I think that's the only reason, honestly, that I'm not appalled by the price, because it is a specialty guitar with the fan frets and the extended range and all that. So you gotta dish out a little bit for them custom specs, of course. But again, if you think that this is the only way you're gonna get your hands on a 7-string nylon string guitar, you're wrong, because those are very common. I don't play them because I'm a 6-string guy. I have been my whole life, and I can't really wrap my head around having another string. It freaks me out. It scares me. I don't like it. But they are common, and they are made. And you can find some really excellent 7-string classical guitars just around. Because again, prog metal didn't invent this. This is like a thing that's existed for a long time. And in fact, if you're ever reading scores and there's Russian words on it, you might find that you can't play some of the notes that are written there because they're too low. They need a 7-string guitar. So that's how I feel about it. Sorry, I know. But I'm always going to be an advocate for the classical guitar, the acoustic classical guitar, preferably one made by one person in their garage. That's the best way to get a guitar, not made from a factory. But again, this is a stepping stone to that, so I do appreciate it, because it'd be so easy to just make another metal string electric guitar. But he didn't. He is now walking a path that puts him a little closer to God, and I recognize that, and God bless. Amen. Go play some classical music, go play a Carcassi study, go play a Source study, go play some Bach. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Of course, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Guitar lessons? I don't offer guitar lessons anymore. I'm sorry, but you can always email me, and I can hook you up with one of my fellow grad students who are taking classical guitar students online, of course. If I don't get back to you, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I'm just in grad school. Did I mention that yet? I'm really busy. I have a bunch of homework. I'm literally thinking about all the homework I have to do after making this video. Man, these uploads have been slowing down a little bit. I've been just every other day right now. Once things calm down, I really look forward to just making a bunch of videos and editing them all in a row and just bombarding your feed with sore hands again. But right now, every other day is just what it has to be. Hey, of course, if there's more classical guitar news, feel free to send this to me. I saw this from a comment. I don't know who commented it, but thank you. You know who you are. So, I do read those and I get video ideas from that. You can also email me too. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. DMing me on Instagram, that's not gonna work. But email, I check my email and it's on my phone, so I see all that. Of course, Rootin's Delight, head on down over there. You can't get the shirt I'm wearing now. You have to go to Goodwill for that. But, I got some merch. I don't know, you want some honest merch? Alright. Well, it's nice seeing you, and I'll see you in the next one.